On our last episode in this epic series, you guys saw the not quite $100,000 PC finally finished and ready to concurrently edit 6 8K RED videos. But we cut the video short just before we loaded up our editing software, Adobe Premiere, and then made our editing team actually try to use the thing. But don't worry, because right after this word from our sponsor, that is exactly what we'll be doing. If you've already seen the rest of the videos in this series, you can skip to where we test drive the system. But if you're new, here's a rundown. This is the $100,000 PC, or 6 8K editors, 1 CPU project. It started out as a sparkle in my eye more than a year ago when I began to wonder if we could take the 7 gamers, 1 CPU concept, our 7-user virtualized gaming rig, and morph it into something actually productive, like for editing our videos. From there, we spent months part shopping online, troubleshooting broken hardware, and testing different configurations in an effort to build a single machine powerful enough for 6 concurrent users, and without the traditional virtualization headaches like a lack of hot pluggable USB. So let's run through it. Now, I couldn't get the Quadro GV100 graphics cards that would have brought this build up near the target $100,000 mark, but I was able to get my hands on 6 NVIDIA Titan Vs, which have essentially the same horsepower, just at about a third the price. Think of it as kind of the Audi R8 to the Lamborghini Huracan. For CPUs, the plan was to use the 2 Xeon Platinum 8180 processors that Intel graciously sent us. So those are 28-core, 2.5 gigahertz behemoths, except that I dropped one of them off a table and broke a memory channel. We can't have one of these 32 gig ECC memory modules from Kingston not working. So we ended up having to buy a matching set of qualifying sample CPUs on eBay. Definitely took an L on that one. In order to reach our target of 2 USB ports for each editor, OneStopsSystems provided us with this crazy PCI Express expansion board, which took 1 slot of our motherboard and turned it into 8. That gave us room for the 6 USB cards that we'd need, 1 for every user, as well as a 40 gigabit Mellanox network adapter. Now, mounting it wasn't particularly difficult, but it did require cutting a massive hole in a case that you literally can't even buy anymore, which sucks in its own way. For storage, we ended up using some fancy M.2 to U.2 to PCI Express adapters to plug in our dual PCI Express 960 gig Optane NVMe SSDs. These bad boys have excellent random I/O performance, which is important to keep program loading snappy when you've got multiple users hitting the drive at the same time. So we combined all that with a bit of water cooling hardware from EK, some power supplies from EVGA, talking 3,200 watts total, and some hard drives, and we've got a recipe for a seriously badass system. Now, the problem is, when you play with this kind of semi-experimental setup, you're bound to run into some issues. So in our case, that manifested in our first choice motherboard from ASUS, which after days of crash troubleshooting ended up having a BIOS defect that they say they've fixed now, but we haven't verified, that caused some of the PCI Express slots to not bifurcate or split properly. As a result, our virtual machines kept crashing. Thankfully, with the help of Linux guru Wendell,
how's it going?
We got it diagnosed, and the guys over at Tyan sent over something that just worked right out of the gate. So we switched over to that, giving us our sort of sexy, but in an industrial way, and definitely not $100,000 final build. We've already made sure the VMs work, and the cooling system is sufficient, so all that's left now is to sick our editors on it and see if it can actually handle the load. So now we're at the moment of truth. We are taking it into the editing den, and for better or for worse, we are having our editors try, all at the same time, 6 editors, to edit 8K footage off a single machine. There are a couple of things we need to do first though. One is I need to pull this power supply out. Oh, including its mount. Thanks, Jake. Whoa! We're having fun. We're having fun already. And we need to swap out the 10 gigabit network card that we have in here now for this 100 gigabit network card. Now we're only gonna be using it at 40 gigabit. We're gonna be plugged into our Dell switch that's in our server room using a fiber optic cable that Mellanox very helpfully sent over to us. But the reason that we need to go from 10 gig to 40 is because even though 10 gig is lots for a single editor editing 8K video, if you have 6 editors times 8K, you are well in excess of 10 gigs. So 40 gig should be plenty. One other small upgrade I'm making here is both the OneStopsSystems daughter board card and our 100 gigabit NIC are really designed to have like server airflow over them. So we're just gonna throw this fan on here. Did we figure out the final price tag for this thing?
No, it's like 30 or 40 grand. It's pretty good. It's a lot less impressive, but.
Yeah, well, we didn't end up putting quadros in it. That would have pushed us to 100 grand. You know what the craziest part of this is? This looks like a relatively economical solution compared to the new Mac Pro.
Uh-huh.
You buy Mac Pros for 6 editors. Seriously.
The base spec, and you're at like 36 grand already.
And this is about competitive, I think, with the base spec. It has more RAM, better graphics card.
64 gigs of RAM, you'll have your own Titan V.
It's water cooled.
Look how horrified all these people look.
So guys, remember how cool it was when you each had individual editing workstations? Oh, new paradigm. A single tower, and everybody just plugs into it.
It's a great idea.
Oh, this sounds terrible.
So some of the cabling for this setup is admittedly a little bit janky. I'd like to take a moment to bask in the elegance
It definitely froze.
of our solution here. Okay.
You might have to restart it.
Give it yield restart. If you didn't pick up on this at any point prior to this moment in this series, this is not actually a solution that we're endorsing. This is a super, super kludgy, weird, stupid hack around for lulz. Now all we need to do is enable VMs. That's quite strange. Oh, Logitech software, go away, please. I can't deal with this right now. Oh, wow, go away, please. Alt F4, Control Delete, is that gonna help me? Okay, holy crap, you don't get to go on top of Task Manager. What about this one? Okay, well that's a lot better. No, not like that. I mean, I guess technically we can move forward with one monitor. Okay, so theoretically we've got a 10 gig virtual link. Let's go ahead and, we might as well see if it works at all, right? Okay, we just broke 1 gigabit per second, so we're up sitting around 1.5 to 2.5 gigabit per second while we're loading in all the files here. I've had better. At least one DisplayPort cable is dead out of 3. Clearly WAN show needs to start at some point. So, and also this timeline is super, super, super chunky.
Oh, is it slow?
It's very slow. I mean, is Premiere only spazzing out when I try and go full quality? Maybe I'm just getting too ambitious here.
Here we go.
I think this is a network problem. I don't know.
Now playing, okay. Seems to be playing normally.
Okay.
This is, hang on, back at the beginning, come on. Come on. Okay. Took a while to load, let's try loading up. Oh, there was a bit of a hitch there. F. Oh, there we go.
There's a couple dropped frames at the end there.
Anyway, anything
So,
else you need?
let's try 1/4, just because we knew this wasn't going to be like the most powerful workstation.
I always work on 1/4.
Oh,
No, just pause, just stop. And just wait a little bit. And now go. And it should be fine. Yeah, that's literally, you just have to wait.
the Premiere Whisperer.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know what's going on. Yeah, see, it's like weird. Super weird.
Do you know how
Okay.
it's supposed to behave normally?
Maybe Unraid doesn't like handle this well.
That was not successful. But there's good news. So we spent the last week tinkering with it, and it looks like resolving our performance issues could be as simple as enabling a feature called Huge Pages. Now, under normal circumstances, when you've got virtual machines running within a host operating system, in order for those VMs to know where to find their memory, there has to be this table or a map of where their virtual memory corresponds to the physical memory of the system. The problem is that the default size of these, little table entries is only 4 kilobytes, which is tiny. So when you've got 384 gigabytes of memory, you end up with so many entries on this table that it can't all be contained. And instead of just referring back to the map for where the memory is, the CPU has to calculate it instead, which adds an enormous amount of CPU overhead. So with huge pages, we take those 4 kilobyte chunks and we make them 2 megabyte chunks, which drastically reduces the size of our table and therefore our CPU overhead. Now by default, Unraid doesn't have this feature enabled. They had to send us over a special build because they didn't observe any performance difference between regular pages and huge pages. But they probably didn't test with 384 gigs of memory and 6 VMs running a RAM-intensive workload. So, we've got it, and we're ready to carry it back in there and give it a shot, right? Tell you what, I'll carry it more towards the middle, okay?
3, 2, 1, go. Oh, yeah. Definitely not light. Regretting taking the heavy side.
Oh, you want it to go in this way?
Actually, that's whatever.
Oh, that's what I was trying to...
Hi, everyone. Here to ruin your day.
Yeah. Straight up.
For the second time.
So we had some issues with our super long DisplayPort cables last time. Some of them didn't seem to be working right, so we're going slightly less ambitious. 1 monitor per editor this time around, and we've pre-tested these cables. Wait, you plugged in the other end of this though, right? Oh, well this is just broken. So our latest problem appears to be cable/monitor related. We ran an HDMI cable to Dennis's station and no problem. Okay, editor 2. Taryn, let us know if it lights up, hey? You know what I want? I want DVI back. I loved DVI. You know why? Because it worked. So we don't have enough long HDMI cables, but what we do have is couplers. And at this stage in the game, I think it's more likely that 2 HDMI cables with a coupler is gonna work than these stupid long DisplayPort cables.
There we go. It's on.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
All right, we got 6.
6 machines up. So yeah, nobody move.
I mean, it's working. Like, I like the responsiveness so far.
Okay, good. Can I get that soundbite?
No.
No, I got it. We heard that.
Good. You're gonna fire up After Effects. What are you trying to do to us here?
You say your machine is amazing.
Okay,
No,
fine.
no.
Go ahead. Just do whatever you gotta do, okay? So Dennis is hitting it full ham. CPU usage at around 70%.
Ah,
Can you even
I can.
mouse, bro?
Are we supposed to be able to play?
We don't know. We've never tried this before, Ed. No one has ever tried this before.
This is terrible, actually.
Are you talking about your popcorn chicken or about the editing experience?
1.8 gigabit. There you go. It just had a bunch of stuff stored locally.
Oh,
2 gigabit.
Yeah.
3.2 gig right now, 5.4. What are you even doing?
Why don't I?
Oh, After Effects is still in the background.
Yeah.
Dennis, you're killing the server and everything. No, it's fine. It's fine. This is what we want to see. Okay, so Dennis is running okay now?
Yeah.
Everyone make sure you're doing something as heavy as you can right now. Let's see how much we can make it hurt. So we're at about 46, 47%, 55, 59, 68. Okay, how bad's it chugging, kids? Who's VM1? Hoffman, what are you doing?
What are you doing?
Footage.
So guys, with everyone hitting it hard, how bad is it? How would you compare it to your regular workstation?
It doesn't really play full on Premiere on this machine.
But does it on your regular one?
I don't play full on my regular one.
Okay, so
So I can't really come. But like, I think it's the same, pretty much the same.
okay. Ed, how would you compare to your regulars? Do you even edit video anymore? You know what, forget it.
Sometimes I do. And it's better.
It's
It's
wait.
actually better than
What?
my normal.
Because his
station
desktop
RAM.
sucks.
Yeah, his
Oh.
isn't as good as the other ones.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Pella, how would you compare this to your regular machine?
We'll go 1 down. Can't do it perfect.
You'll go 1 down, 9 out of 10 score? Okay, Alex?
Passable.
Passable.
It works
If we're-
for one screen. That's
Okay,
what people seem to be forgetting.
other than the monitors,
I can't. No, I'm not. There's no way I'm. What? I'm not doing it other than monitors.
Well, no, because we could solve, so monitors is solvable at around $400 per editor.
Well, it sounds like
we just didn't want to spend the money.
Sounds like you need to make that investment.
Well, we're not actually deploying this.
Well,
Technicalities, come on.
yeah, sure.
Out of 10.
Out of 10, performance, responsiveness.
Yes.
8.5.
8.5. Hoffman, how'd we do?
I can't tell.
Really? You can't tell the difference?
Well, they're both like laggy.
This is an upgrade over the 3-year-old systems. I think I'm gonna stop fooling around because this is 2 full days that the editors haven't had their transcode server. They're finally here! My 24 PCIe SSDs for my new storage server. Things like timeline scrubbing are gonna be much faster on these systems than they were on the old ones.
But they're both like lagging.
So we're looking at a 40 gig connection here, and we're gonna have everyone play back phantom footage. Everybody ready? Go ahead and hit it. Let's see how hard we can make it hurt. 8, 12, 13. Oh, just 14, 15 gigabit per second. Ouch! All right, so the last thing I'd like to see is everybody just grab a giant file off the server and copy it to your desktop when I say go. Okay. I want to see how close we can get to 40 gigabit, because theoretically we should be able to saturate that connection.
Windows file transfer though.
Still. 3, 2, 1, go! Oh, how much space is there?
They're only 100 gig things.
Okay, you gotta find something under 30 gigs. Okay, so I wanted to have 4 Optane drives in the machine, but remember we had to change motherboards 6 months ago? Okay. 3, 2, 1, hit it. 3, 12, 19, 21. So what are you guys getting approximately each? 3, 4, 500 megabytes a second? Not too shabby. Not full 10 gig, but not too shabby either. Oh, we're done. That's it. 6 editors, 1 CPU is complete. And I think it's fair to say, mission accomplished, boys, because all of our editors described it as 8.5 to 10 out of 10, like their usual editing experience on, you guys have 6950Xs, right? Is that right? Yeah, I think so. They have 6950Xs with 64 gigs of RAM, and then they've got Titan X Pascals, if I recall correctly. Or Quadros. Oh, you stole a Quadro, that's fine, doesn't matter. If you guys disliked this video, you can hit that button, but if you liked it, hit like, get subscribed, or maybe consider checking out where to buy the stuff we featured at the link in the video description. Massive shout out, of course, to Tyan, Kingston, NVIDIA, Intel, EVGA, Case Labs, RIP, OneStopsSystems, EK Water Blocks. Who else hooked us up on this thing? Corsair sent us over, Noctua sent us over fans. Corsair, Commander Pros, Cablemod Cables. Yeah, the eBay seller that I bought, no, I paid for those. They don't get a shout out. So that's it. Yeah, Seagate hooked us up with some hard drives on here, which we could have set up with local storage. Also down there is our merch store, which has cool shirts like the hoodie I'm wearing. And our community forum, which you guys should totally join.